What is up, ninjas? My name is Semworld, and if you haven't noticed, I'm finally becoming a man. I'm growing the beard out like you guys told me to, but I want to be more than a man. I want to be a tribal man. So that means I have to ditch this unmanly tech house style of music and make tribal tech house. Nothing gets manlier than that. Now, if I go back to when I was a kid, my first encounter with tribal tech house, manly tech house, was I remember going on YouTube or somewhere, be at TV or something, and watching these artists play these kind of tribal tech house tracks. And it would be funny to me because I would see the camera zooming in on all these girls in the VIP areas with their drinks and big boobs just grooving to the music, and then I thought to myself, it wouldn't be half bad to do that as a living. So this is a tutorial you guys have requested, and sadly I never really got around to obviously making tribal tech house. Instead, I became a guy that works out of a shed making presets for you guys. But today is gonna be the day that we change that around, because today, again, I'm gonna make my first tribal tech house loop. So we're gonna be getting into it, guys. This is gonna be my first attempt at it, and I'm gonna record it. I hope you guys don't burn me a lot in the comments, but if you have some suggestions, leave them down below. I'll try and teach as I go for sure, because I do have an idea on how to do it. I've been studying a little bit, you know, looking at the kick, what the clap and the toms are doing. But you know, again, you can leave suggestions. You can be like, yo, Sen, that was dope, or yo, Sen, you could have done this, I would have done this, to help the other people out like me that are just starting to become a man, starting to grow the beard out before it gets fucking itchy and I shave it. As always, guys, if you want to support my channel, you can head over to evilsounds.com. I will be using the Deceiver sound set for this loop, this groove we're about to do. So I hope that you guys enjoy it, and if you like some of the sounds, make sure to support your boy, support the beard, because I need to get some fucking beard oil. This thing is itchy. And let's get straight into it. All right, guys, so let's get this party started. So we're just gonna pick the first kick in the pack. You know, no need to fret about it. This is a tutorial after all. We're not trying to make a banger, but I am trying to have a bit of fun while I make the video. That's always my goal when making music, having fun. No need to be super elitist or super perfect about it. Just groove. That's the best way to get songs that sound like groovy and fun. That's the thing. When you force it, then you get stuff that sounds robotic and very forced. All right, so we're gonna lay down the stuff we know we need. This cloud has a bit of meat to it. I might use it later on, but we just want a standard clap to go with this here. And let's level down, because right now we're just blowing roofs here. So 6/6. So okay, and we'll just use that clap. We're not gonna worry much about the integrity of the sound, but more about the groove, and we can always come back and switch it. So okay, from there we're gonna go into the delay and give this the clap a bit of swing, around 6-7 milliseconds, so that it doesn't land straight on the. Doing this, you give a bit of swing, and you also give it make room for the kick to hit and then the clap. So it's a little bit of a nice little trick. We're gonna pan the clap a little bit to the right as well. From there, we're going to use an open hat. We know we need that, so let's just get that stuff out of the way. I like this one. It has a bit of a low quality grain to it, so I'm going to go with that. All right, let's lower this. I want it to be tight. Maybe we'll use the fades in Ableton to do that here. I can always switch it again. It might be bad sound selection, but we'll go with it. From there, it's time to get the stuff. So we need essentially a shakers. We need stuff that we wouldn't use that much in traditional tech house that I've been teaching you guys, like the Chris Lake stuff. So we're going to go with the bongos first. Now, when it comes to the bongos, a lot of the stuff I record for this, like the perks, will usually come from like stuff. I have the bongos somewhere in here in the back. But you have the little head, which sounds a little bit more upper frequency. And then you're going to have the big head, which has a little bit more thump to it. If you want to create a good loop, I feel like you need to have both. So we're going to go in and grab a drum rack to just get this going. So we'll just put a drum rack there and call it the bongo or something, and pick 2 of them, which we like. You can go with 3 if you want, but I think 2 is enough. So let's just grab those. I like the way this one sounds like. And we'll go with this one. Okay, and now let's lay down the groove that we're gonna have. That sounds pretty good, and let's add a bit of a swing to it. So we'll go with maybe an MPC 16, just so that we get a bit of velocity changes as well as the swing on the bass itself, so it's not so perfectly landing on the beat. I feel like I'm making reggaeton for some reason. Okay, from here, it's time to play around with the sign of these. So we can definitely kind of just pitch it down a bit. I'm going to lower this one. And we're going to add a fade out. And then the little perk will also tune it down. Now let's grab an EQ and just EQ these guys out a bit. Okay, I think one of these needs to be one more down. Maybe one more. Cool, I like that. Let's apply a bit of delay to it as well. Delay is a great way to add rhythm to anything. And again, this is my first time making tribal tech house, guys. But I know that if I want to add extra groove to it or make it sound a little bit more open and stuff like that, I can add delay to essentially get it to sound wider with a pick. In essence, that, or we can go with stereo. We are going to add a sidechain to that just because once we put that echo, it starts to create a lot of information and we want it to groove a little bit more. Okay, cool. From there, we'll leave it like that. We'll come back if we need to. And then we're just going to go with a sampler again, or a simpler this time. And we're going to add a shaker to start making essentially more of the shaker loop. So we are going to have shakers in this pack here, shaker bass. We'll go with maybe this one here. We're going to go one shot mode and give it a bit of attack as well as a fade out just so that we get a little bit more of a actual like vibe. And then we're just going to essentially put it on. Now, again, when it comes to this stuff, it's all about the velocity if you really want to sell it. So we're just going to go here, lower this guy down, this one lower, this one up, this one down. Now, from there, we can also pitch it down. That's why I like to use the simpler because you can get either this. I'm also going to add a bit of an auto pan to give it width naturally instead of going for stuff like a Haas effect or something. So we'll just do that. 116. Let's also EQ that out a bit there. Okay, let's add some closed hats. So again, closed hats, I like to use again the simpler as again, we want to mess with velocities. That's the more important thing when it comes to getting a groove. It's those velocities. So we'll go with this one here. And then we'll just do maybe something with the closed hat at C3. Okay, so I like that. So we'll like mess around again with these velocities. Now I know that I have the open hat hitting in the center here with the shaker as well. Those two have good ones there. So I'm going to choose to opt down on the decay here. And maybe this guy will be loud and this one just a little bit louder. Maybe lower. Okay, and then against here. And then I'm gonna copy this guy here. And then this one, again, quiet. I might choose to add a bit of delay just to that open hat. And I know I need to use returns, be a little bit cleaner about it, but I'm just fucking lazy today. But do use returns for this, guys. If I was legitimately making a song that I was gonna be like fully taking it to the end, I would start putting an echo on here that I could use for all of this. But for now, we're just gonna give a bit here. All right, so we're gonna start to EQ out some of this stuff real fast. I am gonna put it inside drum bus as well, just so I can get them going. So drum bus, we'll use the Ableton one, make our lives easier, and it's not that bad, honestly. The drum bus inside of Ableton is super clutch. Alright guys, now I've added a vocal I got from a splice pack, which is essentially Afrotech inspired. And I'm gonna put this reverb, which is gonna target more of the mid-lows, very short decay time, and it's gonna essentially stick more to the vocal. So we get that, so that way when we hear. Alright, so let's just EQ the vocal out to make sure. I'm also gonna put a sidechain on that vocal just a bit to give it a bit of groove. Okay, let's see if we can level stuff a little better. I like to personally use span for this, just to see how loud my highs are and vice versa. Okay, so now let's put a bass line to go with that to see how it sounds like. So making a bass line for this kind of stuff seems pretty simple. It's usually like a sine wave or like a sine you can distort more, but we'll just go with one from Deceiver. I think the saw power one is fine. Let's make sure this stays up. And then we're also going to obviously EQ it so that we don't get a bit of those upper ones. We want something a little deep. And we're just going to go. Now, the next thing I need to look at is those bongos. Those bongos definitely are going to have a key to them, so we got to make sure we are in the same key as that. So it looks like it's an F, so we're going to go with a bass line in F. And I'm going to do the most simplest one I can do, and that is going to be... I'm going to make sure my vocal's in key as well, so I'm in F, so we're going to move that to F. We're also going to go click and quantize correct pitch, and we're just going to pitch center that if we can. And then we're just going to make sure there's no hits to G sharp. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add more stuff. I feel like we can definitely get some more in there, some more kind of little ear candy sort of shots to it. So we're going to add a simpler, and let's see if we can get like a snare into that action. Maybe this one. Let's do that. I also want a cowbell there. Maybe we can get like a cowbell that's gonna be more like playing like a triplet grid, something cool like that. So let's get that going in there as well. Hopefully I'm not overkilling it. That one. There we go. And then we're just gonna make sure it's in key later on. And then just put triplet grid 116. And then let's see, C3. Maybe the different cobble will work better. So we'll just try that. let's add one more perk just to say that we didn't add enough. So this perk maybe could be something like just very small, like something tonal. I like that. So we're gonna go with just that. Landlord's knocking, that's how I'll knock on your. For this guy, let's just go in and add this double up. Maybe in fact, we have something else that sounds more organic. We gotta make sure that's in like at least something that's in key with everything else. So it's an A sharp. So that means if I go this is B, and this is. Maybe an octave high. Enough chords, just a little bit of sidechain on it for when the kick hits. Just a little. Maybe we could start to add like maybe a synth on top. Like honestly, the only thing I can think of is adding like tech shots or something. I don't know. Like we'll see. Let's see. Like So we'll add this like hot stab. That's what it's called. Poly down there, and let's just EQ that, and we'll get rid of the effects on it as well. Let's just clean it, and then just do maybe an octave high. Add a bit of this background sound for sure. Maybe an octave lower. Yeah, it doesn't need to be sidechain like that. It kills it. Let's see. I'm already like, what the fuck are we doing with this? But we'll do. Just adding like the blue scale in there just to have fun with that, but I don't know if it works. I think this track has like a lack of identity at this point already. But all right, guys, and that is going to be it. That's my first attempt at making a tribal tech loop. There's not a lot of tutorials out there on it, but I just wanted to give it a shot just from all the loops I heard in sample packs as well as the tracks themselves. One thing that I did learn while doing this, and that's the important thing, every time you work on stuff you want to learn, is how we can essentially manipulate a lot of stuff to just give it that tribal vibe. For instance, the cowbell itself, when we put it down, it sounds like an instrument I've heard before. I can't put my ring on it, but it's like a Brazilian or a very nasty ta 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 ta. It's like a snare type of instrument. I don't know the name of it, but it sounds close to it, and that's super cool. I think the last thing I could have added was just a bit of white noise like Mark Knight does in his tracks at that last part in the end to make it sound super hype. But that's my attempt, guys. Let me know what you think, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope, if anything, you learned something if you're trying to do tech loops and stuff. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun and grooving with your loop. If you can do that, I'm sure that you will make great grooves that you can use in your tracks. So you don't need to use drum loops. You can just utilize one shots from packs instead of going for drum loops that other people have made for you. And these drum loops are going to fit your track a lot better as well, because again, you're vibing with your bass, you're vibing with the idea, and you're essentially putting stuff that makes sense to you in your track. All right, guys, and that is going to be the end of this video. Now, this is my attempt at making my first tribal tech loop, but I didn't make how to tribal tech because I'm not confident in making this kind of stuff. It's more about getting a little out of my comfort zone and having fun while I do it. At the end of the day, that's what music production should be. It should be all about having fun. If you're having fun, that is what matters. That's when you will make your best work. In fact, I think I like the groove that I made. I'm a little insecure about it, but at the end of the day, guys, you know, it's the YouTube channel, and a lot of times I try to teach stuff I know and I'm confident in teaching, but this is going to be one of those where it was a bit intimidating to put up. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you want to support my work, my sound design stuff, you can find it at evilsounds.com, and I'll catch you guys next time for another video. You guys take care, keep it groovy, and most of all, have fun and happy producing.